Welcome to my 12 days of Christmas. Yes, it's morning. I'm recording versus going live at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And the reason for that is we've got to take mom to the doctor today for her 2-week post follow-up visit from her surgery that she had a couple of weeks ago. She had back surgery. She's doing incredibly well. She's been staying with me for the past couple of weeks, and if all goes well today, she's actually going to go home to her home in Independence, Kansas tomorrow. I am April Davis with April Davis Creations. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. I'm so glad you're joining me today, and I need to mention to you, today is Friday, January the 3rd. So, 12 days of Christmas. We are on day 10. Can you believe it? Day 10. I've been having so much fun sharing all these with you. So if you haven't opened up your day 10 package, grab it and we'll open it up together. So, let's see what we've got. I was going to rip it. We have the Thoughtful Journey Memories and More card pack. Have you guys seen the card pack before? It's a fun package, and I've got one over here that's got a few pieces left, but it's a fun package that has a number of cards in it that you can actually create from, and it all coordinates with the Thoughtful Wishes bundle stamp set. We're gonna make a ton of cards, but you get these are, let me see what the size is, 3 by 4. You get a number of 3 by 4 cards. They've got obviously 2 sides, and then they also have bigger cards. These are 6 by 4. So you get a number of these, and this isn't it. I mean, there's a ton. I'm not going to open that package, but there are a ton of cards in here, and so you can create to your heart's delight. So I'm going to actually show you how you can use your package of your Thoughtful Memories and More card pack to create some fun cards. So let me pull these off to the side because I've already got us all set up. We're making a lot of cards this morning, a lot. All right, so this is the first card that we're making, and this particular, obviously 3 by 4 card came from the set. So let me show you what we're gonna need for this particular card. We've got it right here. And I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. I'm gonna fold it in half. And these are all easy cards to make too. I didn't really make them too complicated because I wanted you to see that we can get a number of these put together. This is one of the larger ones. It says happy birthday, or I'm gonna actually use the design on the back. I actually have 2 cards created from this. So you can cut these. And so I am gonna cut from the 6-inch side. I'm gonna cut it in half at 3 inches. And I'm going to use this one for this card, and I'm going to move this other one over for my next card that I'm going to make. Okay, so now what I did is I took some of our Mossy Meadow cardstock, and I decided that I wanted to mat both of these. But before I mat this, I want to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to bring in my mat. And for my sentiment for this card, I want to use You Make Life Better. And I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is my color of choice for this particular card. Everything's going to coordinate together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and stamp You Make Life Better. Get this centered in here. Am I getting my head in the way? So sorry. Let me get this in, and then we'll... All right, so You Make Life Better, and we'll close that up. Actually, I'm going to use that again, but I am going to clean off my stamp real quick and then move on to the next thing that I need to do. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my card front, open it up, and I'm just going to do some splatter stamping. So in the Thoughtful Wishes die set, you've got a little splatter stamp. So I am going to do this splatter stamp in this corner. And I'm going to do another splatter stamp up in this corner. So we've got those. Now I can close this up. Let me clean off my stamp. All right, and let's start to build this card. All right, so first things first, I'm going to mat both my pieces on my mossy green layer. I didn't want to miss being with you guys. I appreciate the flexibility. I love going live, but life happens, right? And so I'm able to get mom to her doctor's appointment and still be with you guys. Plus, this is such a fun package. I think you guys will be pretty impressed with the number of cards that were made and how pretty they are. All right, so we're gonna put this one down first. And I'm going to put it right here in the corner here. Okay. And then I'm going to take dimensionals and I'm going to put them on this card, or this layer, I should say. And before I put that down, I've got one more thing that I want to do with it. I'm going to do it before I put it down, though, on the card base. So we've got our our dimensionals for the corners, and then I'm going to put one in the middle just to prevent middle sag. But in the stamp set, the bundle, I should say, you have a number of dies. And so what I did is I cut out this piece of Mossy Meadow from this die, and that way I can adhere it and kind of add some dimension. You could use this and not do that at all. That's really pretty. I decided that I wanted to put some greenery here. So I'm gonna bring in my Teflon mat, and we're just gonna do a couple of dots behind the leaves so we can get this adhered. I'm going very light with my dots, as you can see, but it's gonna be enough to put this piece down and keep it down. All right, so I've got my tweezers. I'm gonna have it help me pick it up. Oh, yep, flip it over. Well, get a good grip on it. And then I'll bring this back over and I'm just gonna kind of line it up about like right here. And I'm gonna move it just a bit, take my block, put my block on it for just a second so it can adhere. And once we've got that, then this, I'm gonna put some glue in the back. Oh, I don't need glue. I've got my dimensionals, forgot about the dimensionals. So let me go ahead and pop those off. All right, and nope, that one didn't come off. I think all the rest of them did. We'll turn this over and adhere it up in this corner. And we have our first card done. Isn't that so pretty? And how quick was that? I think I'm gonna move it just a little bit. Can I do a quick move? It's done, but I wanted to there we go. Yay, card number 1 done. So let's keep count. We've got 1 card. All right, then let's go ahead and move to our next card. And I'm bringing in some peach pie. And we are utilizing this pretty card. I loved the look of this one. Very similar to the last one. There's just no tag there. But basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a piece of cardstock that is 8 3/4, and you are going to score it at 3 1/4. Or you can just take your 8.5 by 11 and you can cut off, let me see, you would cut off about 2 1/4. So I don't want to confuse you. Right now, 8 3/4, and it is scored at 3 1/4. All right, so we're gonna fold that. And we are going to adhere this piece to this, to the card front. I could have used the back, but I liked the front better. All of these cards are two-sided, so you have lots of options. So let's go ahead and put this down, get it centered. Love my glue for centering. All right, now we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna put it on the inside, but we're gonna do some stamping. So I'm gonna take the flowers stamp, and all of these are coming from the Thoughtful Wishes bundle, but I'm gonna take the flower stamps and I'm gonna bring out my boho blue. And the other thing I wanted to show you, excuse me, to help you out with your color selections, and this is for most of the Stampin' Up! Products, is you can see it gives you all the various colors that you can coordinate with this particular set. So they've gone through all of these cards and coordinated the colors and listed them here. And I looked for my blues. Boho blue happens to be one of those blues, so I am using boho blue. So let me open this up. And I don't have this glued down yet, but I want it in here so that I can see where to center my stamping. So I'm going to put my flowers down about right here. And I'll clean that up in just a second. And then the other thing I want to do is stamp thanks. This is going to be a thank you card. So I'll get this all inked up. Got it on my block, kind of wonky. I'm going to bring this down. Actually, I'm going to have to stand up so that I can see into what I'm doing. So stamp thanks here. There we go. And I've got my little thank you card. Let me clean my stamps off. And then all we have to do, where was my flowers? My flowers are right here. Close this up. Put my ink back. I'm gonna put some glue on the back of this, get it glued down. And I think the other thing that I love about this pack is, and we have several, but what I love about these packs is they're just so easy to make a quick card. You don't have to have a lot to go into it. So let me go ahead and get this centered up the way that I want it. And I've got some little bee trinkets. They're tiny bee trinkets. These come in the new catalog that's coming out January 7th. And I'm just going to put a couple of bees on here to dress this up. So I'm going to put a dot of glue here, and I'm going to put a dot of glue here. And then I'll use my take your pick, and I'm just going to grab a bee, and we'll place this bee here. And let me see, another one that's facing up. And we'll place this bee here. Gotta get off my take your pick. There we go. How fun was that? And we've got card number 2. Card 2. All right. Let's bring in our third card. I've got these pieces and let's see. Yes, I want this piece. This is the other half of the 3x3 or the 6x4 that we cut. So I've got another sheet that is 8 3/4 and it is scored at 3 1/4. So we're going to use that fold again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an inside card. So this piece is 8 1/2 by 3 1/4. And I'm just going to fold this in half and burnish it. And then what we'll do is we will put this card on the front of it. So let's go ahead and we can get that done now. Actually, before we do that, I'm ahead of myself just a little bit. I could do it now, but I'm going to go ahead and get my stamping done. I like to get my stamping done and out of the way first. So I'm going to bring in my mat again. I've got things going every which way here. I have a lot of cards. So I'm going to bring in this big stamp. And again, all of these are coming from the Thoughtful Wishes die set. So I'm going to use this stamp. And I am using Petunia Pop for this. Hopefully I've got my Petunia Pop ink here. I don't look like I have it. Hold on a second. Let me grab it quick. Thought I had it. Here we go. Petunia Pop. So let's go ahead and do our Petunia Pop. And I am going to ink this up. And this is going on the inside of the card, actually. So I'm going to close this up. Move this down. And I'm not going to put the whole thing on it. I'm going to bring it down just a tad. And we're going to stamp it right here. Okay, so we've got our flower. And let's go ahead and clean this stamp off. Move that off to the side. And then we're going to say, thinking of you fondly. So let me find my thinking of you fondly. Make life better. Dear friend. Thinking of you fondly. Okay, we've got it. And I'm going to do that in Petunia Pop as well. The reason I wanted to do my stamping before I adhered my card to the front is if I were to have made a mistake with this and I wanted to discard this, if I had already glued my piece down, I potentially could have lost that piece, if you will. I've got my undo that would have helped me, but if I needed to discard this for whatever reason, I wouldn't lose my piece. So now I can bring my piece back in and get it laid down. And so we have the mini card almost ready to go. So let me go ahead and get this glued down. Okay. Centered the way that I want it. Very good. I need to, hold on a second. Does this need to come down a little bit more? I need to crease this a little bit better. I've got one more thing that I want to stamp before we get it all put together. And that is the inside here. So I'm actually going to be putting this piece down here. And this piece will get centered in here. But what I want to do is I want to do something along the outer edges of this. So I've got this little splatter stamp again, and I'm just going to take the splatter stamp and I'm going to haphazardly splatter stamp along the edges. So I'm bringing my mat back in, and I'm just going to start at the top and be kind of crazy about it. I'm not any which way here. No method to my madness. I'm just going a little crazy with it. And let me take one down here, and we'll do another one. You're probably not going to see these, but okay, so now I've got that. Let me clean this off. Close this up. We're going to take this piece and glue it down right here. Get it centered up where we wanted. That looks good. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll open this up, and we are going to actually center this piece in here. So take it to the back. I'm going to turn it sideways just to kind of help me out a little bit as far as my centering goes. That looks good. Then we're going to close this up and close this down, and we have card number 3 done. How fast was that? And how fun was that? Card number 3. All right, let's bring in card number 4. And these are the pieces that we're going to utilize for card number 4. I have this. Isn't this pretty? This background. There's writing on this side, but I want this side. And then I've selected this one. This is the Thoughtful Wishes paper. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I love this kind of paper that you can just make the paper part of your card. And I've got a few that we're going to do like that. But I did another cutout that we're going to utilize. And then I've got a couple of little pieces here that are going to go to the inside of the card. So I want to go ahead and get this set up the way that I can to start building this card up. And this is going to be another one of those where I'm going to cut it to 8 3/4, or really, let me show you how the easier way for me to do it so I don't have to remember the dimensions. This is 11. I'm going to score it at 5.5. Score at 5.5. And then I'm going to take off, I believe I'm taking off 2 1/4. Let me look. I'm taking off 2 1/4. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take off 2 1/4. I would be cutting this edge off anyway if I was doing it the other way. So we're just going to go like this. Fold that in half. I love this fold, and it works out so well with these cards because once I do that, then this piece can fit right here. And then this piece I'm going to cut down because it's too long. This is 6 inches. So I need to cut this down to, let me see, this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to move this to 5 1/4 and I'll cut that off. Okay. And then this piece is going to go on the inside. So let's go ahead. I want to do some stamping on this piece before I adhere it. So let me pull this down. And I'm going to stamp Dearest Friend on this. And I'm going to use, since I'm using Misty Moonlight cardstock, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight ink. And this designer series paper is so easy to be able to stamp your sentiment on it. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to line up Dearest Friend right here. Get it a little bit closer so I can see where I'm going. So I'm going to do Dearest Friend right here. Okay, so I have Dearest Friend. And then let me see, I have more stamping to do. I've got 2 pieces of cardstock here. The larger piece is going to go on the inside of my card. So I'm going to be stamping on this one. And let me clean off my Dearest Friend so I don't get things messed up. So I'm going to bring this in and we are going to stamp I Appreciate You. Dearest Friend, I Appreciate You. So I have I Appreciate You here. I'm going to stamp it in my Misty Moonlight ink as well. So let me get this set up. And I'm just sharing my block, inking up just this one. I'm going to do I Appreciate You right here. Cricket. Flip it over. That was terrible. All right, let me try it again. I Appreciate You. Oh, this was a cardstock that I already used. Didn't even see that. All right, let's bring in another piece. I need to do a little bit of cutting here. Obviously, I was using the back again. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to measure this up and we're just do another quick cut. But that's just way too crooked. Okay, so this was 2.5 by 3 3/4. So bring this back in. My stamp still got ink on it. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. Move those out of the way. Make sure I cut that right. Well, close enough. All right, so bring back in my I Appreciate You. Make sure I'm not getting any ink on me. And I'm going to try again right here. Oh, how did I get my ink in the Missing You? I didn't even ink that up. I'm taking that off. That's a mess. All right. This goes fast when you're not making silly mistakes. All right. There we go. Maybe I didn't clean that stamp off. Do you think that's the case? All right, so we've got that. Let me clean this off. I bet that's what happened is I just didn't clean that one off. So I'm going to bring it in real quick and clean it off because it was causing me grief. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to take my splatter stamp that we've got here, and I'm going to do a little splatter up here. I'm going to do a little splatter down here, and I've got plenty of room to incorporate a note. All right, so let's get this built. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to adhere it to the front. Put this down. Center it up. And we'll take this piece and we'll put it on the inside. I love this paper, so pretty. Bring this down just a tad to center it inside. Okay, then we're gonna take this piece, and this piece you can actually write more of a note on. Maybe sign it on the one, and then you can write a note on this. If you don't want to include this one, you don't have to. But I thought I would just throw an extra piece of card in here so that if I wanted to write a note on it, I could. So get that lined up, and then we'll put this piece over on this side. Okay. So we'll get this lined up over here. Thank goodness for 2 sides to each piece of cardstock. Thank goodness. Okay, so we've got that. So now this closes over. We're going to take this little flower and we're going to place it right here. So let me go ahead and get some dots on my leaves. Okay, let me see. Get down right about here. I'm going to press it down with my block. And I've got some butterfly. These are in the regular catalog, the brushed brass butterflies. So pretty. So let's go ahead and have some butterflies flitting around these flowers. So I'm going to put a little butterfly here. And I'm going to put a big butterfly up here. And this is card number 4. Yay. So easy. All right, let's do another one. We'll do card number 5. We're going to take this piece, and again, it's 6. It comes as a 6x4. I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to use this side. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this to 5 1/4, and I don't want to cut off my flowers, so I'm going to cut off part of the sky. So 5 1/4. And now I've got my layer for my card. This is a regular sized card, 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm just going to fold this in half and burnish it with my bone folder. And then we are going to stamp on this piece of designer's or card, and we're going to stamp Thinking of You, and we're going to do it in Blackberry Bliss since we're using the Blackberry Bliss cardstock. So let me get that open. And Thinking of You fondly. And I'm going to stamp it right up here on the corner. Thinking of You fondly. Get my inks out of the way. I'm going to clean this up. If you don't clean it right when you're thinking about it, then you forget, and it could mess something else up, as you saw earlier. All right, so now we've got that. So let's go ahead and we're going to glue this down. Turn my card the right way so I'm not gluing it on the wrong side. What a great way to get a number of cards done all in one sitting, literally, on like a Saturday afternoon, or, you know, an evening that you've got. this pack gives you that opportunity to be able to do that. You walk away with, we'll see how many cards, we'll count them in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna use the little bees again, the little tiny bee trinkets. I want them flitting around these flowers. So I'm just gonna put a few little glue dots right in various places. And then of course I'll use my take your pick to pick them up. And I'm gonna put a little bee here. And let me see, I'll grab one and I'll put one here. Get it off my take your pick. And then let me see, here's another one right here. There we go. All right. Is this, I've lost count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Have we done 5 cards right? This is card number 6. We'll come back and count and square up in a minute. All right, because I've got more cards. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna bring in one of my favorite colors. This is Wild Wheat. And look at this scene. Isn't that pretty? I just thought it would go so well with the wild wheat. So again, I don't want to use this side. I could, but I'm using this side. I love just these papers. And I have to cut this to 5 1/4. So which side do I want to cut off of? I think I'm going to cut off of this side. So I'm going to cut off to 5 1/4. And this is going to be another one of those easy peasy ones. I'm going to pair this with Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and we're going to stamp Dearest Friend on the front. And then we'll work on the inside. So let me see, where do I want Dearest Friend to go? I think I'm going to put Dearest Friend right here. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting this straight. Please, please, please. If not, it's a handmade card, right? There we go. Okay, Dearest Friend. And then I've got another piece that I'm going to do to the inside. And remember this piece that I just cut off? I'm going to actually glue it down to the inside in just a second. But I'm going to take that flower again. I love this flower. So I'm going to take it and I am going to stamp. See, I got ink on my finger, look. Ink on my finger, time for a wet wipe. The reason I know that is because I was looking at my cardstock over here and it has ink on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, when I create the card, I'll make sure that I put this layer over the top of it and that will hide it. But you have to be careful with the inks, darn it. All right, okay. Back at it. I'm going to stamp this out in Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to do it to the edge. Love this whole set. All right, so I'm going to do that. Get this stamped. And I'm going to do pretty much all of it. So we've got here. Okay. And let me clean this up. I'm going to use that ink again, so I'm moving it out of my way so I don't get into it. Let me get this stamp cleaned off. Out of the way. And then I've got Dearest Friend, and then on the inside of this, we're going to say Missing You. So I'm going to take the I Appreciate You off. Oh, I think I probably need to clean this stamp too. It looks like I still had ink on it. All right. I think we're good now. So this Missing You is a little crooked. So I'm just going to line it up right here on my block. A little bit better. All right. Tap in the ink up here. And I'm just going to do Missing You probably, well, let me put this up here just to kind of help me to center. Put that there, and I'm going to put Missing You here. Okay. So let me clean this off, and now we can start to build this card. Get that ink closed up. So let's go ahead and get this strip glued down. Right on this edge. We've got that. And then I'm going to bring this piece in, and we're going to put it strategically on this side to hide my little ink blender. So we'll go ahead and get this put down and get it centered. That looks good though. Okay, I'm going to fold this in half. Normally I do that before, but okay, so we've got the front, and then I'm going to open this up, and we're going to put this on the inside here. And I am going fast, guys, just because I don't want to keep you all day, but these cards are really actually very quick and very easy. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put some butterflies on here. I just feel like they need to be flitting around in this field of flowers. Let's see, I'm gonna put one here. I love these brass butterflies. So every chance I get to use them, and this is a perfect paper. I mean, I know these are cards, but we also have a designer series paper that looks like this. Okay, put this one here. Whoops, didn't want to come off my take your pick. Come on, come on. And I'm gonna push it down. All right, this card is done. How fun was that? All right, let me see. We have one more card. Okay, this one I'm going to do in the full length. So it's 8.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. And then I'm going to adhere a piece of white cardstock to the front. So let's go ahead and get this done. Check my fold. I don't think my fold's accurate. I felt like it was off just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to utilize this card. Isn't that pretty? And it already has my sentiment on it. The sky is the limit. So basically what I'm going to do is it's the same length as my piece of white cardstock, which is, what was this, 4 inches? So I'm just gonna lay it on top, and then we'll show you what we're gonna do. So let me get this down. Okay. So I wanted to pair this up with something. I wanted to put something on this side. And I loved these trees. Well, we have an embossing folder. Let's see if you can see this. We're gonna use for you to see it. Let me see if I can do this. Put this in here. Can you see that? Can't see it. How do I help you see this? It's called the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder. Can you see that? Oh, there you go. Painted trees. Aren't those pretty? So I thought, oh, that would be perfect. So what I did is I took this embossing folder and I embossed a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. Can you see that? And I'm gonna adhere it right here, and it's gonna go to the side of this pretty "The Sky is the Limit," and it dresses that up. And I decided that I did cut it the 4 inches, but when you emboss, it kind of shrinks it up just a tiny, tiny bit. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably make it just a little bit longer, and then I can trim it up if I need to before I put it down. But this works. I'm gonna go ahead and get this centered, and I'm centering it so that I've got white, white, and white. So of course I did this on purpose, which I did. And this card's done. All you need to do is put your sentiment on the inside. I'm not doing that today. But we've got one card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards, 6 cards, and 7 cards. 7 cards, guys. I just had so much fun with this, and I probably could have made more because you saw that I had some extras left over, but I thought I would go with 7. That takes up a good enough amount of time for you guys. But this was day 10, and just to remind you, this was the Thoughtful Journey Memories and More card pack. But what a fun way to put these together to make some really, really cute cards. And this does actually happen to pair with the Thoughtful Wishes bundle. So you've got the card pack, you could add the bundle to it, it's in the regular catalog, or maybe you've got something else that you can use to incorporate into this. Use what you've got in your library. So thank you so much. Thanks for your flexibility. This will be posted, so you'll be seeing it at 1 o'clock regular time, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow for day 11. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.